on the set we had a fire, and that delayed us after, having to go to a second, third, a different plan. We actually we actually had a we had a rain, we had a fire, and I remember saying to myself, the next step is for us to look at how we're going to present when we realized that we didn't get all the footage that we wanted. And so we drew for the use of technology because we're in a virtual space, we were able to pull together the content, and over the technical use, I would say, I don't know, search and the team, they pulled together like a technical thing to kind of show the top five and the top three. And yes, I saw some of the comments saying that, we didn't have the Q&A, but the truth is, during that time when all of those things were supposed to be happening, we had some other elements that interacted with the production. And I, by no stretch, want to say that, you know we that's really the plan A. That was really our alternative plan, and I thank you all for the support that you've given. um so, ladies, um how do you feel about, how do you I would want persons that are watching to send me questions, and to share their opinions, because it's really not just about the audience that is internal, but the external audience. But this evening I really want you to talk about your experience on the first day of set. Shanika, tell me about your experience on the first day of set. As a matter of fact, for example, the day when you got your dress, because the first day of set was the first day you were seeing your dresses and all of that. You can talk about the experience. I don't want you to be shy about it. Talk about your experiences.
Right, so my first day on set was actually, if I could compare it to the second day, it was better because even though we had anticipated rain, God smiled on us and we had sunshine, so that was good. And we found ourselves in the lush green gardens of the Rose Hall developments. That was good. It gave me an opportunity to visit a historic site. I've never been there before. And it was just a surreal moment because being in that environment, we do know our historic past with slavery and such, but I was never privy to the opportunity to be in such a historic structure. It was completely bored, although it was in good condition. It was completely bored, and you could see that this was a structure that has been there for a while. So that was a good opportunity for me. The sunshine was good, and the energy was high. I felt like things were going to go well. So that was a good experience for me on day one. And I just like to say that when I first when I went to the eliminations and I got through for the to be a contestant or a finalist, I was so afraid. There was just this unexplainable fear, and I'm like, why are you so fearful? This is something that you wanted to do all along. And then I remembered hearing something while listening to one of my many motivational speeches that I've listened to, that if you're fearful about doing something, then it means that you're doing something good. And so I pushed through and I channeled that fear into my performance and my practice and everything that I did. Everything that I did, I channeled that fear and converted it into passion. And the experience, especially on set, we were faced with some seemingly insurmountable challenges. Like Murphy's Law, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. We actually faced that. We, as Natalie had previously mentioned, we faced all of the elements. We faced rain, we faced fire, and there were so many changes that had to be made. So many adapt. We had to adapt as we went along, and that was the amazing thing that I really admire. And at the end of the day, we may not have gotten a product that we wanted, I mean, we spent a lot of time. We didn't get the product that we wanted, but we were able to provide a product instead of just throwing up our hands in the air and throwing in the towel and say, you know what, let us just choose a winner behind the scenes. And for that, I am extremely proud of that.
I've not I've not heard anything. Tell us about your experience, Jianna. I've not heard you speak on it.
Good evening. My experience, I considered it a journey of self-discovery and growth. The first day that I was in the casting call, I was also having a similar feeling like Shanika. I was afraid, but you can't grow without putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. So even when we all qualified as finalists, I just really had to lean into that self-growth. I really worked in on the self-development. I immediately started the gym. I did keep up on current affairs, but it was really more on things that leaped out to me. I didn't actively seek out that information, so I found myself doing that more and leaning into the projects that I had an idea of doing, but I didn't really put it into practice. So that was good. And also the ladies were just amazing. They were so genuine. And even though we did have difficulties, I'm glad that we faced them together and we really bonded through those experiences. I remember on the day that we were going to do the shooting at Rose Hall, as soon as we woke up, there was a challenge, but we did fight through that. And as soon as we reached on location, the team just banded together and we really got out the product quickly. There wasn't really much wasting of time trying to decide what should be done here, there, and then, because as you mentioned, there was a plan A straight to B, C, Z, and they were put in place so quickly. It was almost seamless the way that we were able to take advantage of the time that we had, even though the plans had to change so quickly. And even though I know a lot of the patrons were asking about the question and answer segment and they weren't able to witness that, it really, really gives us a feeling of pride to know that at least we're able to put out a product that they could see how we were able to do some of the segments, even though they weren't able to see all of them. And just that entire journey of start to finish, it really made a lasting impact on me. And I'm glad for the sisterhood that I developed with the ladies.
Okay. So I'm seeing Francine and Martine. I don't know if they are able to speak. Yanshika is here too. I know she was on camera just a few minutes ago. I'm taking comments from you guys, and I just ask you to just speak openly. This is not rehearsed, so I just want you to talk about your experience in the Miss Universe Jamaica Northwest pageant.
Hi, everyone. Unfortunately, my camera is not coming on because I'm on data. But my experience was it was good. It was really good. At the starting, I was extremely nervous because I was saying that, oh, I'm not pageant material. I don't have the pageant body, the pageant walk. All of that was a big issue for me, along with public speaking. So, I mean, after a while, we started having Zoom meetings, and at first, not all of us bonded right there and then. I mean, some people have to feel it out and stuff like that. But eventually, we started talking, and on film day, the Wednesday night, I think, we were all sitting down and we were just sharing parts of our lives, and we were relating, and we're forming a really nice bond. And I was just excited. In that moment, it wasn't about the pageant anymore. It was just mostly about the friends that I had made and the memories that we had made. And the Thursday, we all just really bonded, and I was so happy that I wasn't even nervous anymore. I was just letting things flow, even though we had some rough patches, as everyone mentioned. It was really, really nice, and I'm happy for it. I have no regrets.
And that was the question I was going to ask next. Are you disappointed with the production?
Should I go ahead and answer? Well,
I want people to be very honest, you know, and to talk, because I'm not, I believe that these moments are meant to grow you. And I don't see experiences as being just negative, because it's only what you are willing to take from it that you, because people don't really learn from experiences. People learn from evaluated experiences, and that's not me, that's John Maxwell. Um, and so every experience I encounter, I normally take some time to reflect, and it gives me value when I hear from persons. And right now, I just really want to hear your experiences. Go ahead, Martine, because I see your hand.
So regrets, none. As for the production, I I really wished that everything worked out in our favors, that we could give our viewers and our supporters, our family and friends, the content that they deserve. Because I know you had a great plan how everything was supposed to be coming out and shown, and because of a lot of things that we had to get done, it just, I don't know. I'm not disappointed entirely. I'm just kind of sad that they didn't get to see what we have been putting, the work into. We've been trying our best. We've been doing the practices, the walks, and all that. I just wish that they could have seen that. And that's it. I don't have any regrets. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was just that part.
Okay. Thank you for that, Martine. I'm getting a question from Instagram. Someone is asking, how can a winner be chosen without a question and an answer segment? This is King Junior. King Junior, thank you for your question. This is a very good question, but I just want to explain to our viewers that the process of judging of a pageant, it actually, it's actually a process in the sense that we started out on the second week of August with an altruistic project. And that project, we did a presentation. Each of the contestants in front of our 5 judges did a presentation, and that was how we got most altruistic. On the prejudging side of things, each contestant was given an opportunity to go through a question and answer segment in the prejudging, and it's a personality interview for fit, and also to understand really in a general sense the person's general awareness. With the Miss Universe brand, the Miss Universe brand is looking for a beauty ambassador and someone who actually think on their feet, also the way they carry themselves up close and personal. And based on the results, what we had to do based on the circumstances that we were faced with was to use the scores, the highest scores, based on what came out on at the end of the prejudging. I just want to say to you, the Miss Universe model is different from most models, because what they look for is personality, attitude. They look for someone. It's a collection of attributes that not only the question and answer segment would present, but to say to you that that question and answer is also done behind the scenes. And it's unfortunate that our patron did not get to see the on-stage portion of it, but we did a question and answer backstage in the prejudging. If I'm lying, contestants, you can tell me, and you can also answer King Junior to to give him and I'm grateful to hear a gentleman asking this question, because truly I know that our patrons are very passionate about the production, and when you're doing something and the public has a reaction, it means that they have interest. And so I thank you for that question, King Junior. And keep the questions coming. Keep the questions coming. All right. Francine, do you have any regrets? Are you sorry that you were a part of this pageant I can't hear you. You're on mute. You're muted.
Good evening. All right, so for the pageant, there is no regret. I only wish that some of the events that were supposed to take place had taken place. I mean, we've missed out a lot, but we have found this union, this sisterhood that I will always remember. The journey was very interesting. At times I felt like giving up because there was so much chaos at one point with the cancellations of events and activities. So you lose some of the original activities that were supposed to take place. But when I think about it, if it wasn't for the pandemic, all of this wouldn't have taken place. And I'm happy that you guys pulled through and didn't cancel on us because, we worked so hard. Jianna started her working out, the first one to start it. I have to commend her on that. Veronica is there. Everybody did their own part of trying to uplift themselves. Yanshika, for one, has improved herself so much. I'm so proud of her out of this place. It's like, oh my God, is that my little sister? Even though she's a 6 feet and I'm just 5'4", but she is amazing. And I've seen growth in all the contestants. And for persons who didn't get to see what happened behind the scenes, those who were in top 5 and even the top 3 were well deserved. And we discuss that amongst each other as well, because we see the work that each other is putting in. So who Jianna deserved it. And we all saw that coming as well, because she did everything that she wanted, that was required. And I wish the audience would have seen all of that. It's unfortunate, but there's no regret. I wish it was longer, and I wish we had more face-to-face time. Apart from that, I enjoyed the moment. I actually cried when it was all over. But I'm hoping that we can still bond. We still have the WhatsApp group, and we have Jianna's back 100%. And Nanja as well for your altruistic project. We have your back. So yes.
Well, I'm hoping that all of you are planning on implementing your altruistic projects. So we're looking for that sisterhood and that, continued support in implementing these projects, because they're absolutely great concepts for some. And even though some persons have started to implement their projects, I'm really looking forward to participating and working with you all to see through your desires. All right. Any other questions coming? Search, and are we getting another question out of Instagram? I just want to use this opportunity to say thank you to so many persons who have worked behind the scene. We want to thank, from a committee's perspective, I want to thank all the committee members. From I told Search that this year he was the assistant producer of the show. I have to thank all the members of the planning committee. I don't want to start calling names, because sometimes you're in this position and you forget a name, and it turns out on you. And I don't have a list written down, but my committee is really comprised of 7 great individuals. And I can say I have right on this chat right now, I have Search and Onisha. I know watching in the background, I have Lionel Mitchell of Millennial Media Management. I know I have Kenrick Pitnight, Yakini. I have so many persons. Keisha. I don't want to really not call names and persons, but then we have what I would consider persons who would join the production to make it happen, like our makeup artist Jody K. Collins of the Jody K. Collection. she was like part of the team 100%. She was up on production days. She was up there from as early as 3, and she's just behind the scene, like she's a member of the team officially. I know that Michael Nicholson, though he's not on, he's our producer, and want to say thank you to him. I want to say thank you to Garth Somerville, who does all the choreography and work behind the scenes as well. Um, I just really, I'm grateful whenever you have a dream and, persons believe in that dream and work along with you. It is really something that money can't buy. And I really must say, though this year the efforts may not yield the results that we anticipated, I would love to invite our patrons just to view the rebroadcast of the Miss Universe Jamaica Northwest pageant, and you can still share your comments. We look forward to our next event um, outside of a COVID year. Would love to stage this event outside of a COVID year. We've never done the event outside of COVID. Some of the comments, really, a few persons have called to encourage to say that they see what we wanted to do. Some persons are very angry, but I hope that you'll understand that we do appreciate your passion towards the production, and we ask that you just um, give us your time to go back and view the production without those technical glitches and give us your feedback. Thank you so much for the support this year. And I look forward to you supporting our queens, our contestants in their altruistic projects, and also in the support for moving on to the next level of the Miss Universe Jamaica journey. Um, Ladies, is there anything else that you'd like to say, that you'd like to share before we go? Nothing else? That's it done? All right. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us this evening. I want to thank all of you, and I look forward to our next step. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.